Want to win free cases and be featured on my channel? Submit your best clips and highlights to the forum in the description. More details down below. Hello YouTube, what is up? This is Mark bringing you another video, and today I really want to try something different. I actually want to go do some analysis of some of the games that I've done before. I know you guys, a lot of you know me for doing commentary on video games, especially Critical Ops, and I actually did commentate this exact game. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is now becoming an analyst, shifting my perspective, and now that I've watched the game, kind of help you guys understand why certain people made certain decisions, why certain teams acted the way they did, and how it resulted in their wins. So today we're going to be examining the first semifinals of the North America Critical Ops season, or Critical Ops League Season 3. This was between DyG and D2R. If you guys didn't watch it, well, you know, you guys should. The link is in the description down below. And that was a very nice stream that I did. I had a lot of fun commentating that. But if you guys, you know, I'm probably going to spoil this just because if you haven't watched already, it's already out there. But DyG did win 16-14 on this map of Plaza and 16-15 on the map of Bureau. So today I'm going to be covering a little bit of why DyG won both of these maps and how they were able to win it out in such a close fashion. Basically, kind of taking what I took from a lot of what I was watching and, you know, commentating and kind of get back to you. So essentially a lot of this is going to be, you know, a rehash of the gameplay, but I'm going to be pausing it and speeding it up at certain times so you guys can see the most important parts. I'm going to be doing probably some versions of this where I actually kind of just play the full video and kind of analyze it as we go, and you know, maybe they're throwing some nades or something like that. But without further ado, let's just get right into the first round here. So you can see DyG on the CT side and Destined to Rise D2R on the T side. You'll see here that DyG, they bought out 2 pistols, and we're just gonna play the game as it goes. But you can see they're gonna be going pretty aggressive. Actually, D2R, 4 of their players when they go over towards B long, and so DyG, they tend to play a pretty A/mid heavy setup. You can see on the mini map up to the top that these players are very heavily stacked over towards CT and actually over towards B oriented. So DyG, they kind of know the tendencies of D2R to play over towards that B position. And you can see right here, one of those players, DyG, they made that call out right there. That one call out forces D2R to kind of rotate back. So you can see them running back here, and you can see DyG, they're actually not going to move very much. You can see right there, number 2, that's Parrot on DyG side. He's going to be staying there as well as YSL in DyG. But YSL actually plays a very critical part. So you can see here as DyG play that heavy mid presence, YSL is going to come in for these 3 massive kills right there. And this puts D2R in a very, very, very strange spot, because now D2R in a 4 versus 2, given YSL has, you know, okay HP, but Parrot and Legend Juice, they have very low HP. YSL getting those 3 kills forces D2R to really split. You can see there 0, which is Minty from D2R side. He's very, very panicked. He has no clue where to go right now, because at this point, he's over towards A mid, and almost all of his team has died. And number 9, Sam, he has to turn around and kill YSL. So you can see there, YSL, he is going to get the reload, and he is going to die to Sam, but Minty now in a 1 versus 2. Now, this is actually a really, really well played round from Minty, because he does isolate these into 1v1s. And just a tip for you beginners, if you want to win out these 1vx clutches, this is the perfect thing there. Minty spots out Legend Juice, and he runs away. He knows that that fight is a 1 versus 1, and he has the bomb on, well, he knows the bomb is over towards mid, so he's going to be able to pick that up. But Parrot really now has no clue where he's going to go. He doesn't know if the bomb is going to get picked up and go over towards B and go over towards A. But I'm going to speed this round up for you guys, because at the end, it really just ends up being a safe. So you can see it in the top left. I'm going to speed it up. But in the end of this round, it's going to be Minty to just pick up that bomb. And I think he's going to end up saving, because he realizes he doesn't have too much time. And he spent too much time actually, you know, trying to clear out those angles. So you can see here, D2R not able to win that round out. But this forces DyG actually to be able to buy out fully. So into this next round, you'll see DyG actually trying to change up their setup. They play 2 players over towards A this time, and only 1 person over towards mid. You can see there, Legend Juice, 1 player with the MP7, but he smoked it off. So that's going to give D2R a kind of an inkling that, well, maybe they're playing a little lighter over towards mid, because they smoked it off. They don't want to put players there. They want to put utility there, right? So D2R, they don't have much to work with in this round, so they bought upgraded pistols. However, they're really not aiming to win this round. They know that the objective of this round is to get that bomb down, and obviously, you know, winning the round is a secondary objective, but getting the bomb down would be a success for them anyways. You can see there, the reason Legend Juice throws that nade is because he doesn't want any of the players from D2R to kind of encroach on him and to make sure that, you know, they can get that kill. So you can see there, DyG really taking precaution to make sure that they don't lose any players as much as they can. And now I think later on in the round, you can see here at number 7, Resurrection, he's going to try and go for the bomb, but now just Sam left. It's going to allow DyG actually to kind of save most of their players' lives and build up that economy for the rounds coming. So you can see here, as we speed it up there, all 5 players from DyG stay alive, and that's a very, very important key round. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know, but staying alive actually helps your economy a ton. So a tip for all of you beginners, if you can stay alive, definitely try and stay alive. So as we move on into the next couple rounds here, you can see, I'm going to speed it up here and just get them on in here. And so this round is going to be very fast on the side of D2R. And you can see there, all they have are pistols. And so they go for that fast play there. Parrot, he's able to clean them up with the SA-58. But once again, D2R not really aiming to do much into that round. So that was really just a speed up round, a Nico round. So this is a crucial one here. D2R finally have money to buy, and they have full guns, full utility, as well as armor. So you can see here, one of the tactics that they're taking is actually going heavy over towards that B area. But Resurrection, because he gets taken down, it's going to force them to actually move their hand over towards mid. But now YSL, he's actually a very good master at playing over towards this house position. He finds that one frag, and now the team of D2R, they are very, very strong. This is basically like the pistol round all over again. D2R tried to take control over towards that mid area and over towards that B long position. However, DyG with YSL playing over towards house, he's able to cause a bunch of havoc there. And though July does go down, YSL, he did his part. He went over towards house, he got that pick over towards long, and Legend Juice as well gets that pick over towards mid. So now D2R, not only have they lost their players, but they've lost map control. They used to have mid and B long control, now only having a B long control. So you can see here the effects it has. They are really just stuck in that position here. You can see Minty is going to try and ingress over towards B long, but YSL, he's very good at playing over towards B, and he gets him covered off. So Legend Juice as well, he's going to take him down, and this is going to force D2R now to really play in a different style. So you can see here, going into round number 5, Resurrection and Frost still don't have any kills, so they might be trying to play a little more methodical, or the exact opposite, trying to play exactly, you know, fast and try and get those kills there. So you can see here, as the round plays out, Parrot, they are just going to go for some more frags here. Minty did buy out, and I think that might have been a bit of a mishap on his part. We can see here, as they keep on progressing, it's going to be that of DyG, and they actually are able to pick up these frags as well. DyG, usually pretty good there. Parrot, unfortunately, he does get taken down, but I think he was a little overextensive there, so he might have wanted to play behind it because he did get killed. But still, they have so much money. You can see on the DyG side, I'm going to highlight this right here, $50,000. You can see my mouse there, $50,000, 800. So that's a very huge amount of money right there. And carrying into these next couple rounds, this really means that DyG can be aggressive. However, they don't really want to. You can see here the setup on their side is still basically the same. They only have around 1 or 2 players over towards that A site, and the rest of them over towards mid and B. So that one kill right here, this one kill forces the hand. So you can see DyG, they still have the HP advantage here. Frost took a huge amount of damage, and you can see as the round unfolds, D2R, they're going to go over towards A, but this is going to mean YSL, he actually does get a little over aggressive. He plays towards that house position, and Frost, he knows that there's going to be a player over towards CT. So now D2R should be going over towards that B area. They know that A has the 2 players left on the side, and so you can see here, they're going to clear out that area. So D2R just making sure that they actually understand where the positioning is of the DyG players. Resurrection is going to go for the kill, actually, with the bomb making its way onto A. This was actually, I think, a little bit of a miscommunication. I'm not sure if they wanted to go over towards that A site because they knew that Coat was there. However, they still ended up winning the round, but just something to note for the future when D2R plays, they might have a little bit of an aggression there when trying to get kills. So you can see here, as we go on into the 7th round, both teams having full buys really is not going to change how dynamic gaming play. It was only the pistol round where they played an interesting setup here, but you can see here, it is going to be interesting how they play this one out, because YSL, 2 kills over towards that house area, and then it's all down to the same again, 3 versus 2, and this puts D2R once again in a spot where they have to go and get the aggression because they have no map control, like we say here. Sam, he spots one out, and that gives him a huge amount of information now, because now Coat also, you know, he's the one player on DyG that has a lot of HP, and so they know that D2R. Really haven't seen anything. And July spots a player, but that's an unfortunate play right there. You really don't like to see that one, and that's gonna actually force DyG to kind of make a bit of a panicked move here. They're gonna rotate on over towards B site. You can see the round play out here. The nade is gonna miss by a little bit, but Coat is essentially going to distract them right now. He's trying to buy time for his teammate YSL to come, but they're not buying the bait. You can see there, YSL, he's actually going to go for that one kill, but he misses a lot of his shots, and the round doesn't go in their favor there. You see, D2R were aware of the post-plant position, so they're able to pick up that second round. And that's a very important thing to note there. Once they have that post plant, D2R are usually pretty good when it comes to those post plant situations. However, sometimes they're not able to get into those post plant situations. So you can see here, July, he's going to push up very aggressive, and it's because DyG have very much had a history of success over towards that B long house area. However, this round, it doesn't work out for them. So you'll see here, Parrot, he's going to try and defend from the CT position, but the flash is going to really force him off. And DyG, they have really nowhere they can go. All of them sitting over towards CT, you can see, not going to try and retake really from different areas. And the one kill from Legend Juice, it's good for them, but MVP is on the flank already, and he knows that they're going to be towards CT. He heard their bullets now, and so he's just going to go for the spam, and he's able to get those 2 kills. So at this point in the game, D2R, 3 rounds in a row, or I do believe it's 3 rounds in a row. It is showing up to be very good signs for them. You can see here that their economy has recovered substantially. They're at 29,000 apiece, or 29,000, not apiece, 29,000 total for their team. As you can see here, they're going to be throwing the typical nades. DyG still playing that standard setup, and it is going to be Legend Juice playing over towards mid. But we've seen him before. When he gets those 2 picks, he's going to watch over towards A mid, because it's unlikely that they have 2 to 3 players over towards mid. Minty, though he is able to get 1 kill, he knows that his teammate's saying, hey, you know, there's a lot of players over towards mid and towards A mid. So he really doesn't have anywhere he can go, and he does get slow peeked there by July. So D2R, though they tried something a little bit different there, DyG, I think they got a bit lucky here as Legend Juice. He throws that smoke down and they run through the smoke. That was kind of the key play in that round that led to D2R's demise, them trying to run through the smoke, and Legend Juice, he was just ready and waiting, prepared. But D2R now, you can see here, a similar play over towards earlier in the game, and Coat, he's going to make that call to his teammates to rotate. You can see there, it's going to be July and YSL already rotating from that B site on over towards A. But Legend Juice, he likes to play over towards that trash can position. This puts his teammate Parrot in a very, very strange situation. You can see here, he's the only player that's really close on the A site right now. 3 players total for DyG, but it's versus 5. So Parrot trying to do as much as he can, but he reveals his position, so YSL also comes in, and this is actually perfect timing here. Parrot buys enough time for his teammate YSL to come in, but he's not able to get those follow-up frags, and so you can see the flurry. It's a very, very chaotic round there, where D2R, they really didn't get the entrance, but they ended up recovering well. So DyG, a few missed shots really were all that led them to their demise in that round. But as we continue on forward here, round 11, we'll see here, as DyG, Legend Juice, continually playing over towards mid and continually changing up his spots. You can see he was on top of the dumpster. I think that was a call out right there. But he actually is on top of it that round instead of playing around it. And so the flash, you can see there, an interesting thing, if you guys didn't or weren't aware of, when pros actually get flash, you can see that YSL is going to get flashed a little bit. He starts pre-firing before that flash even hits, because he knows it's likely that D2R are going to be pushing before they peek that flash. That's a very common strategy within the pro scene. So he's going to pre-fire that in anticipation of an enemy being there. And in this case, he does actually get a kill. So you can see there, Minty does get taken down. And now YSL, he has a bit of pressure, but he has his teammate July there. And so July being able to get that other frag as well leaves them in a very advantageous spot here. It's really just resurrection and a 1 versus 4, and as long as DyG play this in a 1, you know, not giving them 1 versus 1s, resurrection should be able to win this out. And if we speed this up, resurrection, well, he tries his best, but I don't think he's able to win this one out here. So it is Dynamic Gaming defending the bomb, and Legend Juice makes that call out, so now his teammates are there to support him. You can see their Parrot does come in for that trade frag, and they play very closely around the bomb. So now here, DyG, they have all the money and they're back in the lead and they have the momentum here. But you can see D2R, usually what happens is that when they don't really have a set strat, they're going to try and lean over towards the A site, and that's kind of their heavy site. You can see here, usually when they go B, they go fast. But when D2R get that opening frag, they're going to go even quicker. You can see their very, very nice play from Sam to pre-fire that angle. He knows the tendencies of YSL Legend Juice to play around that mid area. And because Legend Juice does get taken down, you see, by MVP. July just listening for the shots. Actually, he can hear the footsteps, and then he's going to be calling out to his team. So YSL is ready and waiting, but I don't think he would expect anything at all from the back because he just killed a player. He doesn't think there's going to be another one there. So he gets shot from behind, and this is going to allow D2R to actually go over towards that B site. You can see here DyG still sitting over towards that A site. And finally, when that smoke plumes, they know that, you know, they have to make this rotation here. D2R, though, they haven't planted the bomb. And so this gives DyG a little bit of time, but still very disadvantageous spot right here. You can see Resurrection, he peeks out, and he does die, but that gives the position onto Minty, and he's able to get the kill as well. So right now, he's just playing for the time. He's giving him the one-on-one, which is actually something I wouldn't recommend against playing, but he does bait him in the end right there. So a very nice play. He realizes his mistake, and he knows that MVP can trade frag for him. So that's a very nice round played there, and you can see it is going to net D2R that round. So MVP, a savior of that round. But right now you can see D2R, they're going to try back to, you know, their winning strategies that won them. But YSL, once again, he's very good at playing this house position and over towards mid. So he's aggressive, and he's able to use his mobility to kind of go back very quickly and retrieve out of that fight. So you can see here, D2R, they've lost a man, and they want DyG to get over aggressive. That's why they've slowed it down. But like we said again, towards that mid to late round, they tend to go over towards this A position. So you'll see here, nades flying out from D2R, but they're really stuck. You can see that dink onto Minty forces them to rotate out, and Ko actually does get 2 massive frags here. That is a bit of a timing luck on his side. He did get pretty lucky there. Parrot does get taken down, his teammate, but Ko getting 2 of those frags is really kind of the key part in this round. You can see as they go out here, MVP, he does find a frag, and that's a little bit over aggressive, but DyG able to close it out because they're all playing on the site and they know where that bomb is. It's over towards that A mid area, and so they made that call out now. And at this point, Resurrection is really just hoping DyG overextend, and it's not going to be that because YSL, he's playing a nice off angle. He knows all the positions to play over towards mid because that's his spot. You can see 16 and 7. He's very much taken advantage of that mid to house position. Along with Legend Juice, they're a very good tag team over towards that area. So you can see here, July does get aggressive, and normally he doesn't play that belong position there, but YSL said, you know, maybe we can do that. And he throws that nade, and look at that. Right, he knows the timings. He does get that kill in the Resurrection, and Legend Juice as well. He has an inkling that they might be pushing up B long, so he goes for that spam. YSL though, he thinks they might be pushing back aggressively. He waits, so he hears that spam, and he thinks they might have cleared out. And this is really just timing right here. That was just lucky for him, as YSL is actually able to take Sam down. But you can see D2R are going to try and respond though. They've lost a player already, and they've lost 2 to be fair. So YSL just trying to combat him, and he does do quite a bit of damage there onto Minty, and then his teammates just come in for the trade frags as well. So DyG have very fast control here, but D2R, we know that their fragging abilities are there. So that's something that DyG are aware of coming into this last round. This is the last round of the CT half. And so we'll see here, how do they go out? D2R going to do a very typical D2R-esque run here, where they go fast over towards A mid, but Legend Juice is actually able to get quite a bit of damage onto Frost. And so this puts D2R in a very strange position. They have to really commit because they, once again, they got another frag. And MVP actually is able to trade it out. So they have 2 players alive there, and D2R, when they win that round, they have some momentum going into the second half. So you can see in the pistol round, D2R now on the CT side. DyG, well, we know that they play pretty passive on the CT side, but on the T side, it's pistol round. So pistol round usually means something different, and you can see here, they're going to play, once again, pretty standard. A pretty standard DyG setup. They like to play very methodical. And so you can see, they are going to make these challenges, but very calculated. Legend Juice, he goes for those jiggle peeks before he peeks it completely. But they don't know that they're walking into a stack. He spots one player MVP, and they know that typically D2R like to play a player over towards that CT position. Most teams do, actually. But what they don't know is that there's going to be a player on this A site. It's going to be Resurrection, and he has the Q, but he's not able to get the frag. He actually does get 1, but he does peek a little too early now. And so this puts D2R in a strange position. They're fighting in that corridor, and they really don't want to. So you can see they all back out because that's a death trap. For any CTs playing over towards that CT position, and you see the Ts rushing onto the A site, you know that playing over towards CT in that hallway is essentially your death calling because you have nowhere to go when you peek that area. So you can see 2 of them are going to go over towards A mid. However, DyG, they're just very prepared for that. And so Frost, when he does get that kill into July, he does jiggle peek it, and this puts DyG in a very strange position here. You can see here Parrot tries to do his best, but he's going to get traded out eventually here, as he does, you know, he does get that one kill in the MVP, but this puts DyG back into the game here. It was a close game to begin with, and now D2R, as they win that round, puts them in a very good spot. So DyG now, they're doing the same thing here. They buy the pistols out, just GSRs and revs. And you can see here, typically when teams have that, it's going to be the same thing. Resurrection on the D2R side, he plays over towards that mid area, and it is a very, very common setup here, the 2-1-2. 1 over towards mid, 2 over towards A, and 2 over towards B. But you can see the difference here. D2R not playing anyone in house at that exact moment. DyG, they loved putting YSL in that house position, but D2R, they didn't do that. So Resurrection actually does get taken down. And for D2R, that's not too worrying, given they do have guns. However, it does mean that they have a lot less visibility on where DyG might be going towards. So this is going to cause Sam to play a little more aggressive. You can see he's been playing A mid that entire round, but once he hears the footsteps from YSL, he does peek out. And that's exactly why he does that. So you might be wondering, well, why did he peek? It sounded like he might have been cheating. You can see there, again, he has the sound cues in his hand. He knows that they were pulling out that grenade, and that allows him to peek with accuracy, and then allows him to get that kill with full determination that he can get it. So Sam, a little bit out in the open, a little bit careless there, but in the end, they win the round. And so D2R, they're going to pull back a couple rounds here. You can see DyG, once again, they like playing these games pretty close. I don't think they like it, in matter of fact, but they end up getting pretty close. So you can see YSL, he was doing very well on the CT side, but he moves on over towards the T side. And you can see DyG, once again, they're going to try and make this round competitive. They're not going to full save. They're actually going to buy some smokes. They're going to buy some GSRs, some nades as well. And so what this signals to me is that they actually want to be able to do some damage onto the side of D2R. They want to be able to get maybe 1 or 2 kills, maybe a bomb plant, and in a stretch, they'd be able to win the round. However, they know that it's going to be far from easy to win the round against a fully equipped D2R. So what they do here, you can see they love the jiggle peek, and they love to make sure they get the information of where the players from D2R are. So they like to play very methodical. Compared to the side of D2R, you can see they like to run the clock down very low. So around 35 seconds left in the round, and this is when they start making their moves. Obviously, it is an eco round, so there's a low chance that they win this, and in this situation, they're not going to win this one. You can see here. But just something to note, they love playing these rounds pretty methodically and slow. And so you can see there, the double peek coming in, DyG, they're able to get quite a bit of damage there. 2 frags, not able to recover any of the guns, but still doing economic damage and putting some of the players from D2R in a very strange spot. So you can see once this comes around, it is going to be DyG changing up the pace. They're going to go very, very fast over towards B long, because they know that there's going to be players AFK. They saw that one player is Coat. He's AFK, so they're going to try and change it up here. And they get a pretty good trade here. For having only 4 players, they do manage to get 2 kills. But it leaves them in a very strange spot, as they finally, when their teammate does come back, that's Coat, the round is basically over. So they try to change up their positioning here. They try to change up how they're playing that round, but it didn't net them anything. So DyG here just going to fall back and try and see if D2R will get aggressive. And that's what most pro teams do. Once they've lost a couple of players or they've lost the advantage, they're trying to see if they can bait out any aggression from the CTs. And in this case, you saw that he does get 1, but he does get traded out. So a very nice peek from Coat. I don't think Minty expected that. He just knows the pre-fire. He saw him with that jiggle, but he has a inkling that Sam might come over towards house. That's where a lot of T's try and, or CTs try and rotate from. And at this point, he's actually salvaging a very, very good round that probably shouldn't have gone their way. This was a 2 versus 4, and you can see essentially what he did in that situation was he isolated those fights into 1-on-1. So that's something, once again, that kind of concept of isolating 1vx's, that was a 2 versus 4, and DyG won that. So that's not something that should have happened. D2R probably in their communication might have messed up a little bit, trying to say, hey, maybe they're just sitting over towards house, or they might have gone over towards that site. Those words might have gotten convoluted a little bit. So you can see, as a result, D2R don't have the greatest buy. Resurrection, he's on that MP7, but he tends to like to play over towards mid, and mid is a very close angle area, so it's not a problem for him. He's the one player to survive there, and actually does get that kill. So like we said, it's close range, it's aggressive, and so he's able to get that kill. But as we fast forward a little bit, we can see here DyG, they're posturing over towards house, but like we said, once again, their tendencies are to use their utility before they go anywhere. So that smoke is going to allow them to peek on in. But at the same time, they like to clear out these angles very, very methodically. And so they're able to get a 2-for-2 trade. And you can see the Legend Juice, he knows that the players are both going to be over towards CT. And that they tend to, once they peek over towards CT, go over towards house. So the players right now not worried actually about getting that bomb down because they actually need to clear out the site. So Legend Juice, he does find one. But in the end of this round, he's not going to be able to get anything because he does actually play around the smokes pretty nicely. But in the end, there's 2 players from D2R. And so that was just a bit chaotic from them. They tried to get on the site, but an interesting play by Minty to actually push that allows D2R to win the round. So as we kind of go on into the 21st round, we'll see here both teams very even as far as the kind of the kills go. But DyG, they don't really have the money to buy. So they hand that gun over to Coat, and you can see D2R getting very aggressive. MVP wants to escape, but he's pushed up so far that this actually puts them in a very strange spot. So you can see here a 5 versus 4, and Frost as well. He is so far aggressive. He does get 1 frag because he knows that they only have pistols, but he has to be aware because he knows that they're going to be pushing him out. And he does get another frag, but it is a ton of damage done. You can see Parrot does take down Frost as well. So it is a 3 versus 3 at this point. But D2R, they know that they have the guns, they have the advantage, so they're going to be able to just re-aggress early. This is not necessarily something I could recommend, is going for these aggressive peaks. And at the top play, you know, DyG were very much capable of winning that round. However, I think D2R, they knew that they had the manpower, so they just went for it anyways. But that eco round doesn't signify too much. DyG, though, you can see here, once again on the pistols, they're going to go pretty fast. And that's generally a good strategy with the pistols. They try and clear out over towards A mid, and they do. So this is going to put a lot of pressure. You can see D2R rotating in from the CT area, but Minty, he's playing a very good angle there. And so Coat, now the last alive, he only has an AK, and he doesn't have armor even. So Frost is able to close him out. You can see there right there. So D2R, they're playing comfortable right now. And remember, DyG win this map. They're able to close this one out, which is very interesting. So we'll stay tuned to see what they actually do in the rounds coming here. It is 10 to 12. And obviously, they won this one 16 to 14. So I'm just going to keep watching. You see here, DyG, towards the later half of the game, start hitting over towards A pretty heavily. And you can see here, 2 frags forces the rotate. And this is a very interesting play by Resurrection here. He's going to go over towards A alone, trying to make this hero play. But like I said, this is kind of a very strange situation because he knows that there's going to be 4 players over towards A. So he's going to peek out, maybe get 1 or 2 frags, but he does get taken down. He doesn't have backup, right? So that puts his team in a very strange spot. And you can see there, MVP and Frost, they are kind of distant from each other as well. MVP still not over toward that bomb site, and Frost finally there, so they finally teamed up. But with the 4 versus 2, D2R really don't have much place to go. So MVP, he does catch Legend Juice off guard. That was kind of just a timing error on their part. But trying to run through the smokes usually doesn't work out in their favor. So MVP, he's just going to wait. And DyG, they know they don't have to go anywhere. So he's going to peek out, and the timing doesn't really come in their favor. So I think over-aggression in that round by Resurrection is going to eventually lead to the fall of their round. So something that D2R might have been unaware about was that kind of aggression, and that probably led to it. So you can see Resurrection now only has the MPX. That's not the best gun to hold down mid towards. I mean, it is better than probably a sniper rifle, but he wants to have a rifle, right? And so you can see their Parrot, he does take down Resurrection. The low HP, though, doesn't allow in his favor, but Frost, he gets very aggressive over towards B-Long, and this is an interesting play because he knows that there might be one over towards house. He predicts that, but YSL doesn't act upon it. So YSL now, he's heard the shots, and he actually, interestingly enough, if you guys didn't see, he kind of peeked his head down so he could avoid the bullets. So something, if you guys you know, want to know about that movement, that's a very important factor of the movement as well. So you can see here, DyG, Legend Juice is going to be pushing up over towards that A type, but he does get taken down. So this means July doesn't have much he can work with, and he has to get that kill. It's a very important kill he does get, because if Sam drops him, there's really nothing he can do. So now they know that last player is over towards A because of that bomb throw, or because of that nade thrown. So Minty, now he has nowhere to go, and now the bomb's going to make their way on over towards B. So DyG here, this is the beginning of where they kind of are starting to come back in this game. So you can see here, the bomb's going to get planted on their side, and Minty, he doesn't really have much to work with here. Only a flashbang. He does have good HP, but still a 2 versus 1 is still very hard to maintain, given the fact that they're not going to give him anything. He's been spotted out in July. He plays that headshot angle to perfection. He knows that, obviously, it's going to be very hard for him to hit the shots, especially if he moves left and right. So now DyG, they had the complete advantage. You can see their Resurrection fully on just a GSR, and so DyG, they're going to be making their way over towards a very default T-side setup. You can see they're not pushing out just aggressively yet because they know that D2R are most likely going to have the buy, and in fact, this round they do. So DyG, once again, methodical in their methods. They're going to clear it out, take a little bit of damage from Minty over towards that area, but you can still see here DyG just waiting in Resurrection only because he has a GSR. He's going to try and bait out his teammates there. He has house control. But once again, DyG playing this round very, very slowly. They don't want to give anything up early, and they just hope that D2R gets aggressive and possibly pushes out. But towards the end of this round, you can see here, Frost, he's going to try and go out, but he's out in the open. When he peeks out towards CT, he had nowhere to go. And so Minty now left in with his teammate MVP. You can see they're not very much close together. So Coat over towards that A mid position, he can actually cut off the rotate. So you can see he's going to take down MVP, and now he has full positioning. He's able to close out the round because of that mid position. Because they didn't have that communication from D2R, that's going to force them to kind of play off of what sound they have, and the sound unfortunately doesn't come close enough. So DyG here are starting to ramp up, but obviously we know that D2R at some point get 2 other rounds. So we'll see how they play this one out here. DyG on a pretty confident buy here, but they are going to get that early frag over towards D2R. And now that they know D2R have abandoned, they're really trying to escape. You can see there, every time they see that smoke zone, they're always trying to escape. 1, because that corridor, and 2, because they really want to essentially team up with their teammates. They don't want to be taking these fights in a 1 versus X. But you can see here, Coat, he's out and he extends very much so. So his teammate YSL, he does get a kill, but Coat really shouldn't have been there all alone. He does get a little over aggressive now, and so DyG picking up a 14th round essentially here. That round should have gone their way, and it does. So we'll see here. The last couple rounds of the game, at this point, DyG, it's a very close game, and they're kind of running a bit out of strats, so they're going to go fast over towards A, and Sam catches the perfect timing. He knows that they traditionally play slow, but that smoke generally means that they're probably going to play a little bit quicker. DyG don't like to use their utility as fast, and so that smoke signals to Sam that, hey, they can actually go out over towards that A site, and they might be coming fast. So the nade doesn't do a lot of damage here, but Minty doesn't get checked, and so he's actually going to be able to do a lot of damage on the Coat. He doesn't get the kill necessarily, but he allows for his teammates to come on in. As you can see here, a 2 versus 2, and July and his teammate. July is very disconnected from his teammate. YSL is over towards that CT position. He's going to try and flank him, but July peeks out here, and he's able to spot the players. D2R, they don't want to give anything up though, so given the situation, they're playing off each other. They're going to peek from the same angle here. July, that's kind of just a, an aim situation. So when he does get taken down, YSL doesn't have much he can do. And so that flank essentially just becomes nullified because it's not a flank anymore. Since July went down, YSL became the center of attention there. And so you can see that's going to net D2R the round. They kind of read that one in the 2 versus 2 very well, and they had control of the bomb. So it put DyG in a very strange spot. You can see once again late in the game, DyG willing to take a few more risks, which is very interesting as they're going to go fast on over towards this area. Let's be long. The utility is very effective from their side. You can see MVP taken down to pretty low amount of HP actually, but Code as well, he took some damage. So DyG, they want to take control of B, but they know that the smokes and the counter utility from D2R are stopping them. You can see that they don't want to push that smoke without any vision, and so that's actually going to force YSL and Coat down to a very low amount of HP. But Legend Juice winning this fight is very, very key, because we can see there as he gets that fight on over toward the A mid, it's going to force Resurrection to play over towards CT, and traditionally he plays over towards mid. So now DyG have more map control than they think. Coat, he does get taken down, but still the anchor or the brunt of the hit is going to be coming over towards A, and you can see there it's going to be YSL really just waiting. He does kind of get unlucky with the timing here, and Minty is able to pull back or try to pull back another, but at the end of the round here, it's a 2 versus 3, and MVP running through, they're just trying to get as much damage as they can. But DyG at that round, they're good at covering off their kind of flanks here. And so as we go into this next round, we'll see here, D2R, they pick up this 29th round, but it's a very scrappy one. You can see here MVP, he's able to get 1 and 2 kills blinded, and that's basically what's going to win them the round. DyG, when they lose two of their players over towards that A long position, though they don't have the best buy, D2R essentially kind of just put a ton of pressure, and this is gonna kind of put them in a spiral. So a 2 versus 2 now, something that probably shouldn't have happened. DyG should have been winning this round and closing out the game. But you can see here, Frost gets the better of the timing, and it comes down to the 1v1 eventually. But Parrot, the low HP doesn't help him, and he knows that the bomb is very far. So this round gets played out pretty slowly. He spotted him out. And Frost, he's just trying to wait. So this one eventually comes down to the timing aspect of it, where Frost gets the better of him. So you can see here, when they peek out, it's going to be Parrot essentially getting that bomb plant. And Frost, though, he wins the duel because of the HP. So you can see right there, it closes it out, and he keeps D2R alive in the game for one more round. But DyG coming into this last round, they know that basically this is ride or die because, well, they have money, but the momentum might shift in the other favor, you know, in the favor of D2R. So this round, super close here. DyG playing very methodical, and overall, this is kind of what leads their victory. So they do get a bit scrappy on some of these rounds. You can see here, as you move on forward, the nades come out, and D2R use their nades really without seeing anyone. They haven't done any damage almost to the side of DyG. And DyG, once they get their hit coming, that's when they start using their utility. You can see finally, they still have nades on the side of DyG, but once they come on into the site, they close it out right here. And Coat with a nice 3K, he's essentially able to shut the round down. They have a sight onto Frost, and he's able to get one, but really look at that positioning from YSL. So that's essentially... Hopefully you guys enjoyed that kind of the overall play here. DyG able to win that game against D2R, and that was a very close one. I'll be covering the next video or in the next series, DyG, how they won against D2R and Bureau. But let me know if you guys want to see this. I know this is kind of a lot of me talking. I hope this analysis was useful. So let me know if you guys have any more maybe comments. You want to see a certain game or a certain round or a certain play or player, so I can break it down here. I know that, you know, I'm not the best at analysis, but I want to get better and I want to improve, and I want to hear what your guys' feedback is for me. So I hopefully you guys enjoyed that, kind of a new spin on the commentary of the thing. Obviously you guys didn't have to hear me talking it like I was commentating it, but it was like that, right? Kind of explaining why the players were doing that. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, leave a like and you know, subscribe down below, and I really appreciate your guys' time. Hopefully you enjoy, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, everybody.